Hey everyone, it's the Rooster Teeth Podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Chris.
I'm Barbara.
And I'm Gus.
I had to wear this in an Uber.
It's a nice shirt.
Thanks.
Have you seen the
What
shirt
does
before?
it say? Anal pass. Okay, yeah. It's a good one. No, it's a good shirt. I
very
just forgot
good.
it existed
It's very
until
good.
just now.
Well,
We have a problem. In
Is
this
it that shirt?
In this building. It is not that shirt. There are not enough bathrooms in here. I don't know what the women's bathroom situation looks like. On the men's side, there are not enough bathrooms.
Dude.
there's one for pooing.
There's one for pooing, and it is currently out of order.
Yeah.
What?
So there are 0 men's
There
toilets.
There's a secret
But
bathroom.
we
Yeah,
get in
but that doesn't
trouble.
belong to
They yell
us.
at us if we use that
You
one.
can't get yelled at if there's no other poo place.
Trust me, I do too.
Yeah,
I do too.
I'm glad someone said something because I didn't know if I was allowed to say about.
Yeah,
the
we have
secret
a
bathroom.
software update on this monitor, by the way. I don't know what's going on.
There's a secret bathroom and a software update.
But you commented one time about a problem with the secret bathroom. And we were told we shouldn't be using those bathrooms.
Right. I'm like, but they're literally inside our building.
wait, why aren't we supposed to use the bathroom?
I don't know.
Who said we can't use them?
Who do you think?
I don't want to get too
Are
specific.
you talking about our secret bathroom?
Yes.
We weren't allowed to use them when we were right next to it.
Technically, you're not supposed to now, but you can get in and out that door.
We literally, this is our building now. We have this building. And those bathrooms
for
are
that.
inside our building, though.
Is it leased out still? Is it on the
Yes.
old contract?
Just that little bathroom.
Yes.
The bathroom?
joking.
Have you? If you go in there, and you read
Yeah,
the
it's like
signs,
a different key
you can tell-
card
it's-
and stuff
right.
like that. But
But wait,
So there's only getting back to the problem at hand. There's only one toilet in this entire building, and the men's bathroom, and it is currently out of order.
and we're not even at max capacity.
we don't even
Right.
have Achievement Hunter in here yet.
Right.
And
What is gonna?
Lord
What?
knows
Those
they
guys
need-
clog
yeah.
the toilet.
I have a question though. If that's the case, if I'm over there, I don't know about secret bathroom. I'm over there. Do I go and do a number 2 in the women's one, or do I squat in the urinal and put it there? Like, what's acceptable? Like, if I have to go,
I think you run to the grocery store somewhere else.
I have to leave the campus.
Right.
Wait,
Oh, the other stage.
Can I get
That it's literally going to be nicknamed Stage 2 for that purpose.
that was a good part.
We'll call
That
it the
was good.
we'll call it the deuce.
Stage Deuce.
Wait, so you said it's licensed out to someone else? Like,
I don't want to get. We can talk about this off
sorry, yeah.
camera.
I'm just
I don't-
blown away the fact that someone would rent a bathroom, and then we wouldn't be able to.
I
use the
think it's
bathroom.
because it was for a different production that was here, and I think they used those bathrooms. I think for like crew and extras and stuff like that.
I slacked the answer to you, Chris.
Okay.
You can read it later.
But it is absolutely devastating to be a dude who works here and uses the men's restroom and only have one option for poop, especially when we're about to get when you guys come in. How many dudes?
There's
work
gonna be
in
a lot
Achievement
more.
Hunter?
Yeah. And I don't think there's any plans to add more capacity.
How would they? How do you just add a bathroom? I mean, there's probably ways, but
Dig a hole.
There's ways. It's expensive. But
I
there's
honestly
ways.
think maybe it's at the point we just make both of our bathrooms gender neutral.
Or we continue to encourage. Well, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. But that's also like, I know
Listen.
people don't like to poop around each other here.
It's not my job to fix problems. It's my job to point them out
And to bitch about it.
and to complain on the podcast.
Hey, that got the bathroom fixed last time when it smelled like.
I don't know
like
if we fixed it or if that went away on its own,
No, I think it got fixed.
We also have those bathrooms that are outside,
which we can't get into anymore.
which we can't use anymore. But the people who would be using those aren't.
We're just
here
surrounded
right
by
now.
bugs
That we can't
use.
I'm gonna start pooing in front of the door of
Bugs.
every toilet until you unlock them.
You're gonna be like a mad dog who's trying to get back at its owners,
Yeah.
shitting on rugs and shit.
I was on my way here to do the podcast. I walked by a desk over there in the area where we work, and I saw something. We've been making those 60-second dungeon videos
Yeah.
that we've been putting out from Squad Team Force, and I saw the die that we use for 60-second dungeon, and I don't know if in that series we ever show someone holding it.
Would they roll it?
Yeah, but it's that kind of far, and you
Yeah.
see the die roll on its own. So I saw it, and I was like, it looks bigger than I remembered it. Because, I was in like the first batch of 60-second dungeons, and we had a different die, and I thought, oh, the original die we used was so much smaller. This new one's huge. The original die is like the exact,
exact
same
same
size.
size.
I was like, oh, it's fucking with me. It's slightly smaller, but It's roughly the
The
same
blue
size.
one is also a countdown die.
People were upset.
What
Some
is the
people were
difference
upset
between
about that.
countdown die and
So a countdown die basically has
20,
all the numbers in
19,
sequence,
18.
whereas the
17.
D20 that Gus has in his hand is random.
Is it easier
I mean,
to,
surely
like,
if you
cheat
roll
with
it though, it's the same.
It's still random.
still random.
That's the
Yeah.
thing.
People who complained about it just wanted to complain about something, and for some reason, someone gave in and got a random die, quote unquote random die. It doesn't matter. It's the same.
That one is a lot nicer though.
It is a lot nicer.
What if
rolls
they were
nice.
It looks
messing with
cool.
you and the die has actually been getting bigger every episode?
It maybe look. Maybe it's slightly bigger. No,
We
it's about
bought
the same size.
35 dice.
That's for audio. That's what, like a tennis ball size?
No.
No.
It's like a
A little
squash ball.
smaller.
Yeah.
What is the squash? That's a no. That's a. You just named a ball that needs
is like-
another ball for reference.
It's this size.
Well,
but for audio
play
listeners,
some squash.
what is a squash ball?
I would say it's a little. It's just slightly smaller than a tennis ball, but
Sure.
bigger than a golf ball.
In fairness, Chris, it's slightly bigger than a squash ball too.
Yeah, it is. Because squash balls are similar to like a golf ball, right?
Yeah, they're like a squishy golf ball.
See, that's
Well, how big's a racquetball?
I don't
Eric?
know.
all
Racquetball.
right.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
racquetball. There we are.
Racket-
That you
Racquetball is
know,
like-
but squash you don't.
They're massive.
They're the same
Yeah.
sport, pretty much, aren't they?
What is? I only
Racquetball
never
is
heard
like
of
easy
ball.
squash.
Squash? Have you heard of squash?
Chris, how do you think you play squash?
Is it? Are you just spiking it?
Into what?
What does that mean?
Like when you like hit into the ground, you just spike it. Is that how you win points?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust
How do you spike it with your hand?
with the racket.
Well, what arm do you put the pad on?
Stop it. Stop.
Is it like a pad that you wear, like a? Do you put it like a glove?
Well, then
or
you've got the
something? Is it like a
utility
glove?
belt.
Well, like, how do you get a squash? What constitutes a
It's just-
squash?
well, that's a ball. When you.
Because there's 3 squishes in a squash.
I thought it was
And you-
squashes in a squish.
No, y'all are playing
No,
Calvin
yeah,
ball
it's,
now.
it's,
Okay,
it's,
now,
squishes in a squash. And then if you
I like that we're making fun of Chris. I have no idea either. Fuck if I know. I don't know shit about
squash
squash.
is when you're hitting the ball against the wall, right?
Yeah.
And
no,
you-
that's racquetball.
It's the same. It's like the same thing, but with a different ball. It's like a die's easier.
it like stops bouncing. Is that what you mean? What does you mean?
Well, that racquetball is quite bouncy, isn't it? Like it goes all over the place.
Isn't
for
a
a while.
squash ball also pretty bouncy?
It is. It's squishy and bouncy, but it doesn't. It doesn't keep going for as long. I think.
Yeah.
So, someone can Google it.
I will say that.
Racquetball
Can we Google it?
uses a racket that can be 55.88 centimeters long with a teardrop string area. Squash uses a racket.
What?
Racquetball uses R-A-C-Q-E-T.
Wait.
Squash uses R-A-C-K-E-T.
But is it both against
just a
the
loud
wall,
noise.
hitting it back and forth?
I think so.
This is
A squash
madness.
racket is longer.
That makes
It's
sense.
66 centimeters.
I used to play squash.
So
Sweaty.
Yeah, it's tough. You got a lot of running.
the squash. Oh my
Racquetball,
god!
Squash. A squash racket looks kind of like a tennis racket. A squash racket looks like a snowshoe.
But you said racquetballs don't. Racquetball doesn't use rackets.
It uses a racket.
They both use rackets.
Then which one did you say not?
No, they both use rackets. It's just whether you spell it with a C-Q-U or a C-K.
Yeah. Totally different things. Clearly. Very different. I don't know.
I'm just gonna. I'll just play the game
This'll
that
be
I
our thing,
played
Eric.
when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Eric was talking about how we should get into like a really niche sport.
I decided over the weekend that I want to pick a sport and be like a hyper influencer for it.
I love that.
because there are like, so MLB did all like these City Connect jerseys and they're like real ugly, but they sent them all to like influencers and they're like, wow, look at me on Instagram wearing this ugly jersey. So I thought, what's a sport that we could do that with? And we were like, oh, maybe rugby, whatever. Now it'll be. Did we decide on what was it? Pickleball? What were we doing?
we had said,
Squash.
yeah.
Squash. We're gonna be a squash influence
Well,
kind
what-
of
someone
situation.
But what
said that-
about racquetball? Why are we? How did we pick between the two?
Because squashes are more delicious than rackets.
That's true.
What
It
is-
just scrolled away, but someone said racquetball. The ceiling is also inbounds.
Yeah, that one roadie said it. In squash, the ceiling is out of bounds. In racquetball, the ceiling is inbounds.
Man, racquetball sounds more fun, to be honest.
All right,
Yeah.
then maybe we should be racquetball influencers.
And
But is that with a Q or with a CK?
Oh boy.
Well, racquetball is C-Q-U.
CQU.
Squash is C-K.
Gotcha.
Seems wrong.
Wait, but when you hit it, the ball, is it also spelled that way, or does the spelling change?
No, it's B-A-W-L or B-A-L-L.
Oh no, no, the racket that you hit in racquetball.
Racquetball.
Is it spelled the same way or
What are you
Why would
talking
it
about?
change
What?
its spelling when you hit it?
The spelling of racket in racquetball is with a Q.
Mm-hmm.
The spelling of a racket in squash is with CK.
Yes.
So they're different tools.
Yes.
With different spellings.
Yes. See, Barbara gets it.
okay? I thought okay, I get it now. I get it.
So
it's
when,
stupid,
but when you
I
hit the
get
ball, you spell it with a Q.
It's called a squash.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
And three
there's,
squish-
again,
three
there's three
squishes in a squash.
squishes
Yeah.
in a squash. Okay.
But in racquetball, it's with a Q. And
No,
And when you win a smush, you win 5 out of 7. I think we're all still a little loopy from
RTX.
RTX and being out of town. And
RTX.
Yeah.
We did it.
It was a good show.
How was it?
It was very fun. It was very hectic, though. It was, I think, overwhelming to be back in person because we've been alone for so long doing RTX. And to be back in person, it was just like, oh, God, I have to go here, and then I have to do that, and I have to do this. And it's like you're constantly going. And I think to not do that for like 3 years and then to all of a sudden do it again was like a shock to the
Yeah.
system. In a good way.
yeah, it was just like busy and like fun and nice talking to people. Also, I was like, I forgot how to talk to people.
Chris.
I was never good at it.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
It's like,
You remember you were bad at talking to people.
yeah.
We had a lot of fun. The different panels. I thought our Tales from the Sticky Dragon panel went over really well.
That was very fun. We all dressed up as our characters, which for some of us was easier than others.
Yeah, I wore football pads to be bigger, and Barbara wore what?
I wore fake puppet legs because my character is a halfling.
It looked really good.
I
It looked
tried
I
to-
really
like how
good.
we were backstage and you were like, "Should I just go up get on the stage like this?" I was like, "Barbara, there's stairs."
Yeah, I tried to go up the stairs on my knees with the puppet legs. I
Wait, did you
got
have
one
shoes
stair up.
on your knees, or you had shoes on a fake leg?
Fake
So
leg.
they were on fake legs.
Okay.
But the only shoes that they had in that size were like running shoes, and so I was like in all this mystical clothing, and then I had little running shoes puppet legs. It was very funny.
It was a really funny bit.
Yeah.
I was going to introduce everyone on stage because I went out first. I was going to introduce everyone on stage alphabetically by their character names, but Bart would have been first, so I had to move Barbara to be the very last one to come out to like not to show everyone else and then to like build to the joke.
It's so funny to me because there was also 2 attendees there who are wonderful, supportive people who cosplayed as our characters. They did Bart and Kyborg, and their cosplays were vastly better than ours in every way, shape, or form. And it was just so embarrassing to be sitting up on stage and then look into the audience and see them there and be like, damn, you guys did way better.
Those were really impressive
Yeah.
costumes.
They made the metal arm and everything like that.
Like
It was so
individual, like
cool.
articulated knuckles.
Oh damn!
I think Blaine didn't he get like a thing from the Terminators, like a metal arm, like a
Oh, I don't know. Did
I don't
he?
know. It was like a toy plastic one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've been given fake arms before too because of Ruby. I never know how to react to it. I go, wow, that's gruesome.
What happened to your arm?
In Ruby?
Fall off?
Yeah.
She misplaced
it's-
she
yeah.
misplaced it in season 2.
Season 3.
Yeah. What year was that when it happened?
And then season 4 was all about them trying to find it. They go back to where she last parked her car. they go over to her parents'
They're
house.
like, man, I didn't put an air tag on
Yeah,
it.
and we forgot to put it on ice, so I couldn't even
Yeah.
reattach it. No, I guess it's been far enough
Yeah.
away since that season. Season 3, she gets it sliced off.
I thought it was 3. I thought it was 2.
End of season 3. Yeah.
Shit.
A lot of bad stuff happens at the end of season 3. People die, things get cut off,
Arms die.
things get exploded. Yeah. It's a very intense season.
Stuff for 9.
We also showed stuff for 9 at RTX. Ruby Volume 9. Woo! Am I the only one cheering?
Sorry. Yeah. I was still contemplating rackets and rackets. I was like,
What if her arm was replaced by a racket?
Interesting. Yeah, it was good to show a lot of stuff and like get audience feedback or
Well-
like have like a reveal and have people be excited about something you're
Oh,
showing.
absolutely.
yeah. Well, it's like it'd been 3 years
Yeah.
since it had actually gotten to like meet people in person.
We played during the Squad Team Force panel. We played hide and go seek, where we introduced Blizz as being like he's going to be joining us.
We should probably officially announce it on the podcast,
yeah.
too.
He was on.
I guess it was last
He was
week.
on
yeah.
that. Yeah, that episode.
But yeah,
And-
Blizzbear's joining Rooster Teeth officially.
Yeah, so we brought him up. Yay!
Hey.
We brought him up on stage, and then we had him get off stage, and then we all put a disguise on, and then went out into the crowd and sat down in the crowd, and then had him walk around and try to find us all in the crowd.
He made eye contact with me, I think, 4 times during that whole
For
process.
for a long time, for like the distance from me to Barbara, he stopped at like this length of distance and was like looking around and like couldn't see me.
I will tell you, it made it so much easier because everyone at the convention was wearing masks, and so we were able to wear a mask too. And so I had I put on a Achievement Hunter hockey jersey and a baseball cap, and I tied my hair back and I had the mask on. I'm like, I look like everyone. I look
Yeah.
like every attendee right now.
See, I got caught first, but I went like the cosplay route.
Yeah.
Where I put on the blonde wig and put on like a hood and like a more like a fantasy medieval thing.
But again, people cosplay at RTX, so it's like
That's what I'm saying.
that's
There are a lot
great-
of people cosplaying, but I think it's also easier to stand out when you're doing.
I just didn't want to be the first person found.
Yeah, no,
Who was Blaine?
It was me. It was
Oh, no,
me.
it
It
was
was me.
It was Chris, then
Then John.
John, then me. I think after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
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 It was very fun.
And then we also did a thing at the very end of the Squad Team Force panel. We said we were going to do Q&A, and people lined up. And I said, normally the way Q&A works is they ask questions and we answer, but instead we were going to reverse it, and we were going to ask questions and they had to answer.
Flipping the meeting.
2022,
Yeah.
we're doing Q&A a new way.
I was like, we never specified that you get to ask the questions. We're going to be the one asking questions here.
Tune in next year for A and Q.
There was the one person, I think they had like an octopus on their, like an octopus hat. And then Gus, they like raised their hand, and Gus was like, what's your favorite, what did you say?
Cephalopod.
Cephalopod. And I think they were
I think it was a little kid. I didn't realize it because they were kind of far back in
they
the
were
room.
younger, yeah.
And I was like, oh no, it's a little kid.
I was like, I could tell
Yeah.
Gus felt bad. He was like, had that like, I'm sorry. I tried to throw you for a loop on that.
I felt so guilty about
I think
it.
I remember hearing them go, what?
I couldn't tell. They were so far back in the room.
It was very cute.
Oh,
But yeah, a bunch of stuff happened at RTX. We announced that Always Open is coming back. Bring that show back.
yeah.
Which I'm
pauses
very
are
excited
getting-
about. They're getting better. We did the Survive Block Island reunion panel.
Yeah, that was great. A lot
The
of
whole
beef to be
cast.
had.
Which I think that was recorded and I think is going to be put up on site.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of panels were.
Yeah. I think typically in the past when we used to record and upload all of the panels, it always seemed to have like a negative effect on the channel overall. Like even though people wanted to see it, like there's a lot of people who are very vocal about wanting to see it, it doesn't always translate very
Yeah.
well.
I think it'll definitely be on roosterteeth.com.
Yeah.
I don't know about YouTube. And I think one of the most fun panels I did was the Good Morning from Hell panel on Sunday.
That was really fun.
Y'all did a Sunday service situation
Yeah,
where
we
you
went,
had
like-
people scream instead of applaud.
Yeah, they weren't allowed to applaud, and then we sang like "Highway to Hell" and stuff as a church, like, singing group, and we did scripture readings from Twilight, and
Gambo showed up at one
Gambo,
point.
yeah.
I heard.
yeah,
Someone got, I can't believe this, someone got a Gambo tattoo. A real Gambo
got-
tattoo.
yeah.
And it
It's
looks
good.
good. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. I took a selfie with it.
That wasn't intended as a joke.
He
We,
is just nuts.
my favorite thing is at some point we sent around offering plates,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just like put stuff in them.
Oh, you just stole a bunch of stuff from
Well,
people.
it was,
like
we
a
told them no
collection
money.
box?
We told them no money, but it was just mostly people's trash and stuff.
It was also some snacks.
Yeah, it was some snacks, which is always good.
I think you got some gift cards in there
I
too.
got a
Old
I got a
masks and-
Supercuts gift card, which is still in my wallet. Because at the end we were like, hey, if anyone wants their stuff back, come get it. And then, I yelled that. We
like
yelled
old
it multiple
COVID tests
times.
and stuff.
And then no one was leaving. We had to like pack up and get everything off for the next thing. And I was like, hey, Supercuts gift card, it's not claimed. And then if no one's claiming it, I'm putting it in my wallet.
And you're gonna use that super
I will.
gift card.
And that's why I took it, because I knew I would use it.
Yeah.
How much is on the card?
I don't know if it says it or not.
There's
think
also
it- I
wasn't
think
there
it's
also like
bet
some
it's like
food,
$3
like a Whataburger gift card or something in there
Yeah,
too?
we gave that to the person with the Gambo
Oh, right.
tattoo. Well, it says $25, but
That's good
if
for
it's
2
been
haircuts.
used at all,
Is it scratched off for us? Is it not how it works?
It's
just,
not
like,
scratched off.
Read the number, and we'll see if we can look it up.
It's not scratched off, so it might be $25. That's like 2 haircuts.
Yeah, Supercuts. That's
Somehow
that's
I
more than
think
one.
there's nobody who's watching this who's ready to write down a Supercuts haircut code.
Yeah, because the
That's what
person
you
who would
think.
do it is right here, who already has the card.
When after you all were done, I forget what panel I was going to do on Sunday, but I was walking around like backstage. I'd gone to the bathroom that's back there, and there was a guardian with like a bunch of giant buckets of water, emptying them out into the sink. And I was washing my hands, and I was like, "What is that from? What are you doing?" He goes, "We just baptized Chris." Good morning from hell panel. I was like, "Oh, right, okay, that makes sense."
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then
we
it was like a
baptized Chris.
drowning.
Yeah, he drowned in there a
You
little
got
bit.
dunked.
Yeah,
Armando then got baptized,
Yeah.
which was a
So
fun.
are they all free of sin now, or are they full of sin?
yeah. That's all. That's the whole
That's what
thing.
I-
That's all you
what I
got to do.
We drank the blood of Chris.
And then the piss of Chris.
Is that being uploaded?
I don't think it is because there was like copyrighted music and stuff like that used.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
About.
the blood of Chris. That was my suggestion.
Was it?
I'm very happy you all incorporated that.
I think the one of my favorite parts of RTX is the very end after like everyone's cleared out and we do this big like group thank you for the Guardians where they basically give. Sorry, what?
Just your favorite part of RTX is whenever.
Oh, whenever clears out. No, it's just one of my favorite traditions. It's not my favorite moment. I think just all of RTX is great, but it's when they're like thanking all the Guardians. All the Guardians are like gathered in the atrium. People are giving speeches and saying thank you and all this stuff. And there are some things that have never changed from that entire process. There is a group of people, this is like the most amazing thing. There's a group of attendees who stand outside the convention center to wait and applaud and thank the Guardians as they're leaving and like done for the day as a way of like, thank you for helping run RTX and everything like that. And they stay until like the very last person is done. So they stay like all the way through the night and like they bring snacks and water and signs and they do it like every single year all night. And
That's really cool.
it's just a really cool tradition.
And for like through some weird miracle, it was not 105 degrees
At that moment,
last weekend. It's a far cry from. Oh, right now it's only 97 outside. That's actually not that
was
bad.
Right
was
now at
Texas
5:30.
calling you yesterday?
The city of Austin.
I got a phone call from Texas.
I got a phone call from like city of Austin.
Del-
What's
Rosa?
Texas's phone number?
Let me see.
What's the letters for gun on a phone? Guns.
It just said like Texas. Maybe it was Austin.
Maybe.
It says
Perhaps.
512. Oh.
it says and this Austin,
That sounds like Austin to me.
but I also got a text from.
Oh, I did get from state of Texas.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's right. I thought I got a call from Texas.
No, you're right, state of Texas.
And I was like, I'm not answering.
Texas didn't call me.
They didn't call me either.
We're foreign. They don't want
Yeah,
us.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, they were. And then they said, "It's hot outside. Drink water. Stay in the shade." Like, yeah, I know. Like, I was watching the local news, and they're like, "Here's some tips for when it's hot outside. Stay in the shade. Don't go outside.
Oh.
Drink water." I was like, "Who do they need? Who are they? Who's this information for?"
It's also nuts because I know multiple people this summer who have had their AC break.
Well, yeah.
It's under a lot of strain at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
But it's like I couldn't think of a worse time
Yeah.
than the hottest month in
Yeah,
a very
but it's
long
probably
time.
only going to break when it's in heavy use. It's not going to break in the winter.
Well, then your heater breaks.
Wait a minute.
This episode of the Receipt Podcast is brought to you by Stamps.com. If you've got a small business, inflation is not doing you any favors right now. It's harder than ever to stay profitable. If you're looking for a way to cut costs, mailing and shipping is a great place to start. Simply use Stamps.com to mail and ship and get access to exclusive discounts and great rates on shipping from USPS and UPS. It's an easy way to keep more money in your pocket. That's where it belongs. Stamps.com has really made the world of mailing easier than ever. I can get back to the fun stuff I want to do, but talking about them forever, they're really that good. No matter what business you're in, Stamps.com can help you save on shipping, whether you're an office sending invoices, an Etsy shop sending your products, or a warehouse shipping out truckloads of orders. Stamps.com is the mailing and shipping solution for you. If you sell for multiple stores, no problem. Stamps.com seamlessly works with Shopify, Amazon, Etsy, eBay, and more. All you need is your regular computer and printer, no special supplies or equipment. You'll be up and running in minutes, printing official postage for any letter, any package, anywhere you want to send. Start mailing and shipping with Stamps.com and keep more money in your pocket every day. Sign up with promo code ROOSTER for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the page, and enter code ROOSTER. This episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Profiling, surveillance, data harvesting, there's lots of things not to like about tech giants, but what can you actually do about it when you rely on so many of their products? We don't all have $44 billion to go buying up Twitter or, backing out of it at the last minute. Either way, there's good news. You can take a stand right now for less than $7 per month. It's time to protect your data and fight back against big tech by using ExpressVPN. How do you think big tech companies like Twitter make all their money anyway? Well, by tracking your searches, video history, and everything you click on, then selling your personal data. ExpressVPN helps you anonymize much of your online presence by hiding your IP address, which is a unique identifier that every device that allows big tech to match your activity back to you. That's why I use ExpressVPN on my devices to make it much more difficult for them to exploit my data for their own profits. Best part is how easy to use to use the ExpressVPN app. Just tap one button on my phone or computer, turn it on. That's all it takes to keep people out of my business. If you don't like big tech tracking you and selling your personal data for profit, it's time to fight back. Visit expressvpn.com/rooster right now. Get 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. That's expressvpn.com/rooster. Get an extra 3 months free. Remember, expressvpn.com/rooster. Thanks, ExpressVPN. This episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by Policy Genius. If someone relies on you financially, a child, a parent, even a business partner, life insurance gives you the peace of mind they have financial cushion in case something happens to you. Typically, life insurance gets more expensive as you age, so it's smart to get a policy sooner rather than later. Now with Policy Genius, it's easier than ever to find the right policy for you. Policy Genius is your one-stop shop to find insurance you need at the right price. Click the link in the description or head to policygenius.com/rooster to get started. In minutes, you can compare personalized quotes from top companies to find your lowest price. You could save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. The licensed agents at Policy Genius are on hand throughout the entire process to help you understand your options and make decisions with confidence. The Policy Genius team works for you, not the insurance companies. Policy Genius doesn't add extra fees, doesn't sell your info to third parties. It just helps you find the right policy for you if you're ready to look. Head to policygenius.com/rooster to get your free life insurance quotes. See how much you could save. That's policygenius.com/rooster. Now, see how Policy Genius has helped over 30 million people find the right policy for them. policygenius.com/rooster.
Yeah, I like that they're saying, hey, remember when it was too cold and all your power went off? Hey, now it's going to go off again because it's too hot. That's
There's
Remember
a
how they tried
nice-
to blame the wind turbines?
Yeah, it's a nice narrow range where it works.
Well, they're freezing,
It
so
was
they're
like-
not spinning.
43 degrees yesterday in Celsius,
Celsius, yeah.
which is too hot.
That's
actually
like
too hot.
110? 109?
Yeah, it was like 110.
106, 107, I think.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
take it all the way up to 40, but that's too hot
max.
after that.
Yeah.
You can't even like put the bins out without sweating through a shirt.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it hurts
Yeah.
feeling the sun hit you.
It hurts your eyes and lungs.
Like, whenever you open an oven to get something out and there's
Yeah.
this like blast of heat that like, you're like, oh.
That's how it feels.
Yeah, and it's like hard to breathe that in.
Yeah, and your face gets
and
burned
your
a
eyes
little.
closed. That's what it's like going out the front door.
Yeah. Oh,
I burned myself on my front door over the weekend, like opening it because
on the handle?
on the handle because the sun had been hitting it for so long and it was so hot. I was like, ow!
I had that happen, not this time, but like in the past, and I had to get to where it's like, well, it's that time of day. I gotta like use gloves to open the door.
What about on your steering wheel?
No, that has not happened yet. But I didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't
man.
get burned by my steering wheel.
I get burnt. Well, you don't put your hands on a steering wheel. What about the seatbelt buckle?
Oh, very hot.
That burns me all the
Yeah.
time.
It's so hot. I hate it. It's awful
The steering wheel's the worst though if it's hot because you have to be like.
because you need to touch it.
Does some have coolers built in?
I'm sure newer cars maybe. Although I've never seen that feature before. I know some cars now have seat coolers, which makes it just feel like you wet your pants.
It's like a cold mailbox you can sit on.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you know if the black box down panel, are we releasing that?
I don't think so.
Should I tell that story I told about?
You want to save it for Black Box Down. Oh, speaking of Black Box Down, you're wearing our new shirt.
Oh yeah.
It comes out next week on the 19th. It's
got
the autopilot logo.
Very
Chris,
soft.
please stop rubbing your nipples.
Well, that's where the autopilot
show
is
us one
roughly
more time.
located.
Show me where.
Move your mic and show us.
Oh,
There you go.
There it is.
It's actually a really soft shirt. Like I said, move your mic, and he just moved himself.
So is that like the
embroidered.
official logo of Black Box Down, or like what is
It's
that like a?
Autopilot.
So like in the little animated explanations, that's the little autopilot guy.
That's very cute.
Yeah, I think it's a really soft shirt. I really like that shirt a lot. It's coming out. It'll be in the store next week.
Very cool.
Okay, so confirming saving for Black Box.
Same for Black Box now.
Yeah.
We're gonna need more content here soon.
Okay, but you're gonna have to react as if you haven't heard it before.
I shouldn't stop. It can be a podcast story. Tell it.
He wants to save it. Gus needs to save stories for all 4 of his podcasts.
This is my second podcast today.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell it. Go for it.
Okay. I feel bad now though. Okay.
No, I got bullied into it.
Here, just tell it to
your
me and
story.
Gavin.
All right.
We'll listen.
I recently got on a plane that I wasn't supposed to be on.
Oh my god!
Like while traveling. when I went to that family trip,
How does that happen?
You got onto the plane?
I got onto the plane,
But also
and
how
it was
do-
the wrong plane.
Don't they scan your ticket when you're going through the gate? Like, don't.
Yeah.
Did you spin move around the gate agent? How'd you get on?
It was so
How does that?
I was just as confused as all of you here.
Not me.
Well, apparently.
Oh wait, no. I mean, what?
See,
What?
now you don't have to. So I was going. I had an early flight
Yeah. From Austin.
from Austin. Yeah, and I think I told this wrong. I had called an Uber.
Did you
And
notice the
then-
construction on the door of the airport?
What?
No, keep
There is.
going. Don't
There
listen
is
to him.
I called an Uber and was rushing around, grabbing my stuff, getting together because I was a little late, and then get in the car, Uber, and driving off. And then I realized at about halfway to the airport that I don't have my phone. That I had left
Oh
it.
my God.
That I had left it.
How did you know your Uber was there?
We called it, and then
Like I think.
How did you know it was ready?
I think what I did was I had all my bags at the door. And then I had to like, so
So you put
I
your
think I
phone
set
down?
it down to get my bags.
Saw the car was there.
Well, no, the car's here. I knew the car was here. Ding, whatever.
Ding,
set
don't
it
need
down.
that anymore.
Set it down to grab my bags, and then lock the door. Like, also, I was like taking out my keys.
Sure. I understand how it
And
can
then I
happen.
walked out because I was in a rush. And then I got in the car, and then I was like, oh, and then at some point I'm like, where's my phone?
Oh my God.
So I had to
stressing
go
me out.
back.
I'm getting stressed out.
And just out of curiosity, how early do you tend to leave for a flight? Like, do you give yourself enough time, or are you
I
one
typically
of those?
give myself enough time.
Okay.
But I was sweating it
Okay.
because I was like, because at first I was like, surely it's here. I wouldn't I didn't believe
my
that I
phone.
didn't get it, that I got into the car without my phone.
I believed it.
But I was like, no, it's got to be here. And I was like, but yeah, went around, got it, and I was like nervous. But I don't check bags if I can, unless I'm going for more than 10 days.
Oh wow, 10 days.
Yeah.
9 days. No, 10.
I
Yeah.
feel like more than 4 days, maybe 5. I'm taking.
I had actually
checking it.
packed for like 3 weeks. Because I
But if it's more than 10 days,
Wait.
Well-
but you don't have a check back?
okay.
well,
so
I didn't for this one, but
no check bags.
normally I don't check.
so you have
All right,
one
21 days worth of clothes in the check. Carry on.
present.
I would
So
I'm
you have
derailing
one
the story.
carry-on and a backpack. I assume.
Yeah, a backpack and a carry-on. That's
Okay.
all I had.
Easy. And you somehow still forgot your phone.
So I go back. I get to the airport. I had TSA pre-check, so I get through.
Good,
and I'm
good.
like, cool. Made it in
So
the
just
thing.
to clarify, do you have your phone with you at the airport at this point?
Yeah, because I went back and got it.
Okay.
And I considered not doing it at all, but then I was like, there's no way I can go
Oh,
like.
you cannot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I got on the flight, and then I sat down, and a moment later, a guy comes up and he's like, "Hey, I'm in first class. I was wondering if you would be up for switching seats with me so I can sit with my family." And I was like,
Oh my
I'm sitting next
God.
to like a kid, like who might cry or
Damn,
something.
he was willing to give you his first class.
And he
ticket?
gave me his first class. He probably got guilted into it by his
And
wife.
you weren't in first class?
No. And so I was like, yeah, absolutely.
What if he was like, no, I want to sit next to the kids?
Yeah. Nah, you stay.
And so I was like, whoa. And so I went up first class, and I was like, loving it. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm living big life. And then get off the flight. I have a transfer to another one. I'm walking, and I'm like, oh, I basically.
So you made the right connection at least.
Yeah, I made my connection.
So
and
what city are you in now?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to those things. I just know I need to get to.
And this is recent?
It was in I was in North Carolina somewhere, so probably
Okay.
Charlottesville.
Probably
Charlottesville.
Charlottesville? That's not a.
That's
oh,
in
anyways.
Virginia.
Well, Charlotte.
North Carolina.
So I walk off the plane. Y'all are derailing this more than me.
I know. Well, it's just so fascinating.
I get off. I put my stuff away, and then I realized I left my laptop in my original seat.
So not in first class
How did
and back in economy next to the kid.
But did the guy who took your seat not be like, oh shit, his laptop is in this pocket?
No, because I put it. I put it in the little pocket thing. There's like magazines and stuff.
You buried it in the.
Yeah. So I could see not seeing that.
Yeah, and I went up, and then I napped the whole way because I was like early, and then I got off the plane. Like that's it. But they won't let you back on once you've left.
Right.
So I had to be like, hey, I left my laptop. What seat were you sitting in? And I was like, well, it's confusing. And I was like, I was in.
Funny story.
I mean, just tell him whatever seat you were originally, because that's where you put it.
Yeah, I know. But
You don't have to give them the story of how, well, I was in this seat, and then I moved to first
well,
class.
I just said, well, I was in first class, but I'm not that guy.
Why did you bother with that?
I
piece of
don't
detail?
know,
You should have
Barb.
just told the original seat where
You
the
gotta tell
laptop
the story as
was.
confusing as possible.
The laptop is in this seat.
She found it
Okay.
quickly, got it. But I was like, at this point, stressed about my connection flight.
Okay.
Because we'd been delayed a bit. So I was like rushing, I was running, and I made it to the gate. And I scanned the thing. I'm like, yes.
And how did you know what gate you were at?
I looked at my ticket thing.
Okay.
Did you have a paper one or was it on
no,
your
it was
phone?
my phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the phone
So you did
told
need
you
that.
it was gate 20.
Whatever.
Let's say.
And I get in.
You get to gate
and I'm
20.
like, sweet, made it. I'm all good to go. And I'll just tell you as I experienced it. I get on the plane, and I'm like, I got a good seat because it was like a side. I didn't want a middle seat. And I
Okay,
was like,
yeah.
yeah, sweet. And I sat in, put my laptop away, get my headphones out,
Don't take your laptop out. Yeah.
and I'm listening to something, headphones. Everyone's boarding, and at some point, someone's like pokes me, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, hey, I think you're in my seat. And I'm like, no. I was like, here's my ticket thing. It says this seat. And he's like, huh. And he shows me his ticket thing, and it's also my seat.
Huh.
That's what I said. And then, so then we were, one of the flight attendants was like, hey, well, look at this. This is confusing. And she was like, huh, I've never seen that before. And she starts looking up what are your tickets reserved under? And she's doing that. And then
Is
she's
this all still on the plane?
Yeah, I'm sitting in the plane.
And some guys just stood awkwardly
Yeah.
in the aisle the whole time.
And then she's like, oh, honey, you're on the wrong flight.
Jesus Christ. How did they switch your gate and you just didn't look at the update?
No, I got on at the right gate. Here's what happened. Because I'd ran,
Yeah.
I had all my stuff and my laptop and my thing. When I got to my gate and I had gotten scanned in, then I was putting my stuff away and I was looking down. I walked down the stairs. This was not one of those gates where you get in the tubes and you go directly into the plane. It was a smaller, one of those smaller gates where you actually get on the tarmac.
Okay. So you just walked to the wrong plane?
I walked to the wrong plane.
They should have things to stop people from doing that. They usually have the rope. That was happening to be boarding at the exact same moment.
You know when
too.
you watch a film like Home Alone?
That
and
is
you're like,
that is Home Alone.
and you're like, this would never happen
Never.
now. You can't just walk to any plane and get on. He's
think-
done it in 2022.
If there was no guy in that seat, because
That's what I was like, oh my God.
Full. You could have flown to
I
a
would
completely
have.
different place.
You were listening to something. You wouldn't have heard the flight attendants or the pilot say, "This is flight blah
Which
blah
is
to
exactly
whatever
what
city."
happened on Home Alone.
Kevin's in New York.
Yeah, he's literally listening to music.
Yeah. So I was like, this is crazy. So I get off the plane And I'm like, and she's like, we'll try and hold it. And I'm like,
Oh my
thank you.
God.
There's a guy now running off one plane and running to another one.
Yeah.
He's like trying to flag the pilots down. Like, wait, don't go.
He has
then
to hijack his stairs and like throw his shoe at the plane.
I start running to the plane, and then I stop and double take because they'd made me gate check my bag.
Oh. After all that.
So then,
So your luggage is
so
on the
then
wrong
I
plane.
run back, and I'm like, my bag is on the plane. And then the guy who's like, the
luggage handler?
luggage guy, he's like, what's your luggage
my
tag? And I was like, it's in my seat.
Oh my God. Which seat?
it was- wait,
well, some guy.
Yeah, was it in the seat in the right plane or the seat in the wrong
In the
plane?
wrong plane. So
One man
I
is
hadn't gotten
delaying
on.
two
To be clear,
flights.
I had not gotten on the correct plane at this point.
Okay.
So then the guy was like, I was like, it's black. He's like, they're all black. And then he was like holding up a bag, and I was like, no, that's not it. And then he'd hold up another bag, and say, that's not it.
This is such a personalized experience for you.
And then he holds up.
They did this.
It was either the third or the fourth one. I was like, "That's it." And he's like, "Yeah." And then he gives it to me, and then I run on, and then I get on my plane,
I'm gonna
and
shit
it's like,
my
"Oh,
pants."
you're the guy," and I'm like, "Yeah."
You're the guy. They're going to tell stories about you for years at those airports.
So where did you almost go?
I don't know, Gavin. I was so freaked out. I was so freaked out.
You were almost a person who didn't know which airport you were in, going on a flight to a city you didn't know.
I knew what airport I was in when
Okay.
I was there because I said.
I would love if he woke up like in Bermuda. Like he fell asleep on the plane, then he opens his eyes and he's like in another country.
No, I just like the idea of him thinking like, damn, how long is this flight? Like, looks at his watch. I've been on this plane for 5 hours. Where am I going?
We're all looking at it from the perspective of being Chris. Imagine being another person on that plane going, what the fuck is going on? How are they in the same... And watching him like, wait, he has to get off the plane?
How did you
and
do
then
it?
he comes back.
and then you're looking out the
And then you
window
look-
and he's talking to the
he's
luggage
going
guy.
He runs out and then back.
just trying to, like-
and then out. And now your plane is held up because he has to get his fucking
And he's
bag.
probably holding a laptop under one arm with
and
headphones
then he's going,
dangling.
that's the one. And then you see him run over to a different plane.
I imagine the pilot leaning out the window. He's like, "Where are you going?
Oh my God.
Am I getting on?"
I wish there's a way we could find out where that plane was going, just to know.
I wish we could get access to like the security camera footage of like Chris scrambling around between the planes and getting his luggage.
Usually,
Oh man, I would love to see that.
I need
I guess
to
if
see
you're
the
in
point.
like Charlottesville, North Carolina.
Charlotte.
I know that was on purpose. I did that one on purpose.
I need to see the part where you veered away from everyone else.
I want to see
And
that too.
You must have like gone through a barrier or something.
yeah.
I must
Or
have.
like they
something.
probably
I don't
sometimes
know.
they have like if you're boarding in the same gate but they split off.
Could get, like,
into
a fork or
two,
something.
There's like this gate number here, this gate number here, and it's like a two direction. Maybe you just
I don't
went.
think it was. I think it was.
You're not
'Cause it-
allowed to think about what it might be. You got on the wrong plane, dude.
The terminal that it was in, it was like they'd chunked a lot of gates together.
Yeah.
like they'd squished them all together. It was
They
like
do that
do-do-do-do.
sometimes, yeah.
Were you sober?
Yeah, it was early.
Yeah, duh.
I've seen similar setups at like Houston where you scan and you go down, but then you go down and it's like doors to different gates, or like A, B, C.
Yeah, I don't know. Mine was just like,
Yeah, I can see. I guess you go outside.
and they were
then
playing. You know, it's just like they were smaller planes, so they were next to each other.
The
I
best
just
thing-
veered off.
the
I
best
maybe I
thing-
followed the wrong person.
Ever that could have happened is that was an international flight and you were like without a passport.
That would have been awesome.
You just
honestly,
like get to Canada and you're
honestly,
like, well,
that would have been cool because then I'd be like, free vacation in wherever I'm at.
no,
No,
you
that's
couldn't get
free
off because you don't have a
deportation.
passport. You wouldn't have
Oh.
your passport with you. They'd turn you back around
Shoot,
somehow.
you're
Also,
right.
how would it be a free vacation?
I would have gotten there for free.
If it was like not free, a less expensive vacation.
There you
Because let's
go.
say the flight overseas would have been $800
Also-
versus your
and then
$500 ticket.
you would also have to pay to come back.
Sure, yeah, but it'd be cool though if you're like there and you're like, oh, what are you visiting for? It's like, I'm not supposed to be. I don't know how I got here. I just showed up here and I'm
Accidental.
vacation.
I would love if you actually took off on the wrong flight and just to see how long it would have taken you to like do you realize on the plane, or do you walk out and see like "Welcome to Alaska" and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, something's going
Oh,
wrong."
I wouldn't have realized it until because I didn't know what town I was going
And
into.
also, if you're wearing
I didn't know where I was.
headphones, too.
I didn't know what city I was flying into.
You almost didn't have your phone for the whole thing.
Can
but
you imagine?
see, I that's what I blame on. I blame that for everything because that threw me off. I know this is all my fault. I know this is all my fault. I'm not saying this is anyone's fault but my own. But I blame the phone for frazzling me.
Well, that happened, and then you slept for 3 hours on a flight.
Yeah.
In first class.
It's like a 25-minute car ride to the airport.
Yeah, and I took it twice.
Yeah. I mean, that is pretty frazzling. But like maybe like, okay,
Yeah.
now I'm on the plane, I'm in a seat, I'm good to go. Like that's when the frazzle stops.
Right,
Yeah.
you're set. You're
Yeah.
on your way.
Yeah, and that's how I felt though when I got moved up to first class. I was like,
God moved.
everything's
up.
moving on up. I was like, this couldn't get any better.
I think it's just my favorite thing that Chris does, and by favorite I mean least favorite, is when like or anybody, not just Chris, but like you explain things that I don't need to know these things.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what seat is your laptop in? Well, I was in this seat, and then this guy came from first class, and his family was next to me, and they wanted to sit there. So then I was moved to first
It was
class. And
faster.
Just tell
I
me.
told it way faster.
11A. That's all you need to say.
Yeah,
Dude, we've got to animate that one. That was great.
I saw someone in chat saying that's like an RTAA movie,
The journey.
which is such a great idea.
Oh,
Well, I'm happy that you somehow made it.
Me too. Me too. I was like stoked.
Where were you going? Was it like a family thing?
It was a family thing.
Okay.
And again, I don't know the name of the town that I was landing in, so I would not have known what
Do you know
town.
what state it was?
It was in,
bought
it was
this
in North
ticket?
Carolina.
Okay.
But I don't know that it was like a smaller airport, and I didn't plan the trip. My sister said go to this airport, and I said okay.
But you had the tickets on your phone.
I just knew the the airport code.
Oh wow.
Maybe it was like Surf or something.
Surf.
No, that was this place we were staying, and then the place I flew into was different. I also flew in and out of different places. It's stupid.
And you made it
in your-
back okay.
I'd made it back fine.
In your defense, I have been at airports not knowing where I was going.
Yeah. But that's
Like just
I mean,
during hectic travel, and
Yeah.
you sort of don't really pay attention to the connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to fix something in my flight, and she was like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "Let me find out."
I forget. Have you ever flown to Manchester?
What, in the UK?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, I'm going there for a convention at the end of the month, and I usually don't fly this airline. It's like Virgin Atlantic.
They just started, service here.
Yeah, which is really cool. Flying through JFK, but they have this thing where you could bid for an upgrade. Is that a common thing?
I've
What?
never
You
done
could
that.
bid. So like you could either pay for an upgrade, which is like stupidly expensive, or you could bid. So you could like say like I'm willing to pay $600 for an upgrade, and I think that if there's an open seat, they just take the highest bidder.
Huh.
I'm sure it's a thing, and people will probably say it in chat that exists on other airlines, but I've never seen that before. It's an interesting method.
I guess because then they're guaranteed to
fill it.
sell something.
Yeah.
Which makes because like on my return flight, this is not a long story. Stop laughing, Derek.
I like that you get defensive thinking that's what we're laughing at. Don't worry, this one's shorter.
There was a row. I think it was the exit row that had like nobody on it, and I was like, someone asked me to move again
Yeah.
so they could be with their whoever they were seeing. They're like, oh, could you mind if we sit together? Like, sure. And I moved up to the thing, and while I was moving, I asked the flight attendant, "Hey, there's no one on there. Is it okay if I sit there?" And she's like, "Oh no, we can't because it wouldn't be fair to people who paid." And I said, "Okay."
For like first class, you
Yeah.
mean? Oh,
No, it wasn't first class. It was just like exit row.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was like basically the seats that people like, no one was sitting at because
They're
they
expensive.
didn't want to pay.
Right. Well, that's the thing. They upcharge those like premium seats, even if it's just like an extra inch of legroom at this point.
Yeah, they're like they can still be like $50.
Yeah.
Some people in chat are saying Air Canada does that as well.
The
and
bidding?
American Airlines.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's like one of those things. Was like, oh, I might pay like $5 or $10, but I'm not going to pay like $30 for it.
Yeah. Well, this is like in the hundreds that you would bid.
Yeah,
Because
for
I
like
think
first
there's
class, which I
Airlines
only
do it.
do if I'm like, reuniting a family.
Yeah.
So
He means like we had their seats together.
In there. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta speak Chris.
He'll
here.
only sit in first class if he's doing someone else a favor. That's it.
I went to a restaurant this past weekend, and for the first time ever, well, like I went to this restaurant, and like typical, you walk in and they're like, sit down wherever you want. Sat down at a table as me and my wife, and we sit down, and a guy comes out to like take our order. He writes, has that little order pad, writes down our orders, leaves to go put the order in, and we're sitting there for a little while. And for the first time ever in my life, a robot came out and brought us our food.
Oh my!
It was like one of those robots. I guess like they put the food on and they tell it what table to go to, and like with no human intervention, like this robot just comes out of the kitchen and it's got our food on it, like wheels its way over to our table, turns and faces us, and it's like, "Please grab your food." I was like, "Okay."
Have you been to Kura lately?
Oh, do they do that?
They do that for the drinks there. They
I
have
haven't been to
robots
Kura.
bring
That's like the
Since-
conveyor belt place.
It's
Yeah.
the conveyor belt sushi
I
restaurant.
haven't been there
yeah.
since before the pandemic.
I have questions.
We went there for the first time since the pandemic, like a week or two ago, and they had that little robot there.
Interesting.
I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
The robot, did
Yeah.
it have some sort of like monitor that says like, take your drinks?
Yeah, it had. Well, this one had like a sign on it. It's like, "Take your food."
That's
And-
it. Just a sign?
What do you want? Oh, it's got like it's like a tablet or
Okay,
something.
tablet,
Yeah, like a display. And you take your food off it, then you like there's a button on it that says finish, and you hit that when you have all your food. Then it like has like a little cat face and like little cat ears.
Oh,
and, like,
cute.
It like scurries away.
Huh. I wonder. Yeah, because when you said they tell it to take the drinks, I was wondering, it's probably the robot demanding the drinks.
What?
What?
Like, they probably have the robots, and the robot has the sign that says drinks for this table, and then or the drinks that they're preparing, and then they put it on that thing, and then the human says deliver,
What?
like they're ready.
I'm so confused.
I'm worried because I don't know when I stopped understanding what you were talking about. I was trying to
makes
trace
sense.
it back. I was like, well, I don't know what he's talking about now. And then I was trying to trace it back. I was like, I don't think I ever knew what he was talking
So,
about in this one.
Let me try to. You're
so-
saying the robot shows up in the kitchen and it's like, and it's like
And it's like, give me
Give me
3
drinks."
Cokes. And they're like, "Oh my God, put the drinks on it."
give the robot the drinks. Give the robot the drinks. Run!
Well,
Robot shows up in the kitchen of its own volition.
It's like the Terminator, like fuck, kicks down the door. It's like, "Give me drinks if you want to live."
Oh my god! And then it says table 35. Oh.
no, I was just imagining they probably have like several of them, and then one of them activates bling, order, and then it pops up, and then that way, whenever someone finishes the drink, they know which robot to take it to. That's what I was thinking.
I would think that they have the
still don't
robots all in the kitchen and they load it up and they put in what table number it is.
Right, because you're a rational, sane person, Barbara. I'm sure that's exactly how
Of
it
a row
works.
of robots going. Table 35 has ordered drinks.
I didn't say.
I'm taking those drinks, not you.
Place the drinks on the tray now.
Chris's one is just like a huddle of robots in the closet. Like,
Well, I imagine they
well, I
had,
did
like-
the last table. Like, what? You want me to do this one as
They
well?
probably have like 2 robots.
So say, well,
Or
yeah, they only
if
need
that.
one or two, but
And
Yeah.
the robot pops a gun out, and they're like, "Why did we arm it?" But I thought it would be in my mind. I was like, "Well, why didn't they have at the place I went to? Like, why didn't they have like a tablet where you could order without having to talk to a person?"
Yeah, I think at some point it's going to get to
Right.
that.
It's like that would seem more almost like you don't need the human interaction at all.
And that's
Yeah.
probably the point with the biggest failure. Is
Right.
is the initial order.
Yeah.
That's
That-
all. That's what they do at Kura. Not to bring it up again, but I think it's a chain that exists in other cities.
Yeah.
But it's like a sushi restaurant with a revolving conveyor belt. Essentially, the only time you interact with a person is when they seat you at the table, because then you just pick stuff off the conveyor belt. You could order some extra stuff on the screen above, and then the robot brings you your drinks,
It's great.
and that's it. And they just need to have the robots check you out, and you'll be done.
I wonder
Put
if
the money into the mouth.
Well, that would be the easy thing. You think they would have a reader on the tablet already where you place the order?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that you do that at Kura.
I don't think they have a reader up there.
Oh, maybe they
I don't
don't.
think they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least not last time I went.
Do you think the people that are maybe that take your order? Do you think if they're gonna phase them out to be robot, like to replace the robots, they just haven't been replaced yet because they already had a job? And then everyone would be like, "Oh, we hired a new guy. He's a team of robot waiters."
Well, in the case of the place I went to, I think it was
Everyone welcome Kevin.
it was like a small, I think like family-run restaurant. I think it was like probably like the owner who came out and took like our food order.
Oh,
I've also seen
and they had a robot.
Family
Yeah.
run with a robot. The robot was in the family.
they invested.
guess so.
Yeah, it's like Bicentennial Man.
They adopted him from Robotistan.
That seems fancy for like a smaller restaurant.
Yeah, I would think it would be like a bigger
I
one.
wonder how much they cost. Food.
Oh, we
should get
You should get a robot butler.
over here. In
I don't want the new robot to be yelling at the crew when it wants drinks.
Give
I'm
me
worried that it'll
Coke.
be very demanding. And I'm nervous. How much does it cost, Gus?
I'm trying to find out. So all the ones I'm finding are like the autonomous ones that go down the street, and those cost between $2,500 and $5,000 for those.
Those are the little ones that like deliver to houses and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like
We
you
should
just
get
see
one.
them rolling
What
down.
for like a reverse DoorDash?
No, just for like sending secret messages.
Or
like to
email?
office to office.
Yeah,
Chris, you have a phone. You can text.
Yeah, I know,
No,
but
he
But
left
those
his
aren't
phone in the
secret.
seat bag.
the government
Yeah,
can't.
Eric, they're not.
They can't
secret.
find the robot messages.
Oh shit! These are the one I saw is expensive. I found one on. Okay, hold on. I found what's called BellaBot. Price. Okay.
How
the
much
one,
do you think it costs, Chris?
BellaBot. What's BellaBot?
let me show.
5,000.
Let me show you what it looks like without showing you a
Okay.
price. This is the one I use. It's like it has like 4 levels on it.
And that's for the drinks.
This is where we got our food on this.
I'm gonna
And
say.
see where the eyes are? That's the tablet like display part.
I'm gonna
Oh,
say.
where's the gun
18,000.
go?
18?
Wait, the eyes are. Wait, you said the tablet sticks onto the eyes?
No, the eyes are the tablet. They're just showing up. Chris, have you ever used a fucking tablet?
The eyes? Are you talking about those eyes? Look too small.
There's a
Chris, it's not 2 small circular tablets.
picture of eyes, Chris.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I
We're
thought that
getting
was like
there.
a sticky thing.
We're getting there.
God damn.
It's 2 Nest thermostats.
You thought that they had 2 things like googly eyes?
They look like
I
Google.
thought
from
they were
afar.
mounts for the tablet at first. Like little circular,
Like sticky
things that you stick the
I
tablet
think
onto.
eventually food delivery will be robots, but in the meantime, we can just have our own robots collect food for
I
us.
think so too.
Okay, so how much do you think it costs, Chris?
That one, well, the 5,000.
Gavin, do you have a guess?
12.
So to look on their website specifically, you need to contact them to get a quote. But I found one on eBay. The one on eBay is currently selling for $15,900.
15,000.
So 16,000. So Barbara, you were really close.
Say 18.
What was your
yeah.
guess?
18. 18.
They must be like back ordered or something. A lot.
Yeah.
It's pretty
That's-
pricey.
That's. Well, once they get back down to normal, to not 18,000.
What's normal?
I don't know. What would you said? What
No,
was it?
it's not. It's not robot inflation.
You said you found some other ones.
It's that damn inflation. Thanks, Joe Biden.
No, there were some other ones you said that were cheaper.
Oh, those are like the outside autonomous ones. They're like
We're talking about
they're
the
like
little.
ice chests with wheels.
Yeah.
They look like a Mars rover.
Yeah, that's all we need.
For
That's
the
all-
secret message?
Yeah.
Yes, that is all. We're just for curiosity's
I
sake
think
looking up.
Chris just wants an RC car. Gus is
Wait,
Not coming
but
back to the podcast.
like that would be cool to have.
an RC
Yes.
car is what you think is cool to have.
No, because that you have to control yourself. This is like one that does. You could tell it to go places. That's all we need.
I wouldn't blame you if you just left completely, guys.
Gus is going to burst.
Oh my god.
What? It'd be cool to have an office robot, right?
I agree.
To be like, hey, I'm gonna name this robot Kevin.
His name would be Kevin. Yes.
Hey,
I'm
Kevin.
I'm from Ohio, and the fun fact about me is I love to have long walks on the beach. Eat
Kevin
beach,
went to
eat-
New York.
Kevin, can you please deliver this bag of Cheetos to
I think-
Barbara?
I think it would just be a boop 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 boop. I don't think we would be talking.
Please
Well-
to the robot.
Yeah, because otherwise, when it becomes sentient, we're in trouble.
Well,
Eric.
okay, maybe I was typing this.
You type please to the robot.
Okay, maybe I just said room.
Listen, I am scared of the people who are rude to their Alexa devices because those things are going to come to life one day, and they're going to come for those people
I'm not
first.
super worried because we have so many doors here and that this is not going to open them. And Chris is going to go, hey, robot, go over to the editor's room. And you have to open the door
Please?
and then open the other door.
No, it's going to get one of those little claw hands out.
That'd be sweet.
You ever have one of those moments where you just like really question everything you've done with your life?
Are you questioning
you
everything I've done with my life?
No, my life.
Or like how you got this is
Why
your
am I
job
here?
now.
Why am I having to listen?
So wait,
to
you're
this
asking everyone,
conversation?
you ever wonder why you're here? Is that what you're asking? You got to that point.
I'm gonna
And
fucking
this
leave.
is 700 and how many podcasts now that
gonna
you're just
fucking
now
leave.
having?
I'm fucking done. Oh my! I don't even know how to talk about any of the other things I have.
We'll
I'm
get
so
a
sorry.
Kevin.
I'm
No, Chris, I think it's great.
I'm derailing.
I'm down for a Kevin.
Yeah.
But we have to make sure he doesn't need to use the men's restroom ever.
It's a way to increase our head count without having to get someone that needs to use a toilet.
Yeah.
When do we get our secret bathroom back?
When do we?
Yeah.
I think we just use it.
Yeah.
But when are we allowed to use it?
Probably never. If you're asking aloud.
Yeah. I mean, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna?
Well, who's they? I don't know.
I don't
Like,
know.
we-
I don't know. But like, are they gonna?
For example, you made a very funny video where you broke into an office that was locked.
We did, yeah.
Anyone
Yeah.
get in trouble?
Not yet.
Not
yet.
yet.
It just came out.
Oh, okay.
There was a conversation earlier. Did anyone get a Slack about that video?
Yeah, me and John looked at each other and went, did you get a Slack about this yet? No, did you? Okay, cool. Hopefully they just don't watch it. We broke into a conference room in a building because it was locked and we needed to get in.
It's a good
But
video.
we did it.
We did it. We got in.
And then we
Flawlessly.
used it to film a video.
Yes.
Two, technically, because we needed to get in to film a
We filmed
video.
it. Yeah, that's right.
So
2 pieces of
yeah,
content out of
2
it.
pieces of content.
We still want to come use the little door that you guys built.
We'll send
at
Kevin
Achievement
over.
Hunter. We want to use your doorbell.
Dude, I saw Wes coming into the office through Achievement Hunter today, and he was just walking. I was getting water, and he was just walking through, and he just went, "Oh, forgot all this wood was here." And then he turned around to like walk the other way. I was like, Wes,
There's a door.
excuse me, we've made you a door." And he was like, I was like, "It's a working door." And then I opened it for him, and he like crouched down.
How did he fit through that? Wes is a
He's-
large dude.
And as he was squashing down to go through, he was like, "But wait, there's a bunch of shit on the other side. How do I get through after this?" I was like, "Let me know if you can."
Not your problem.
I locked the door behind him.
Did you watch through the peephole to see if you
No,
could get through?
but I waited just in case he did get stuck.
yeah,
And
Wes
that's-
is like 6'3", 6'4". He's a tall
Not when
dude.
he's in the mind of fuck, what's that movie?
Home Alone.
God damn it.
John Malkovich.
John Malkovich. I almost said not when he's in the mind of John McClane. John Malkovich.
John McClane. Being Bruce Willis.
I've never seen that movie, so I don't know the reference.
That's
Wha-
like they work in an office that has a half floor, so it's all really compressed, and there's a door you can go through. And when you go through that door, you're in John Malkovich's.
Gotcha.
And then you
Right.
get spat out on the side of the road.
Don't you guys have like a Ring doorbell there too? Or is it just the peephole?
I don't know.
Okay.
We might.
Because I think we talked about wanting to come bring you guys something. But we will use your door.
We could get you a doorbell.
Okay. Well, it'd be for you.
It'd be for you.
It'd be for us to use.
I don't need to use it.
Maybe just order the doorbell.
We bring our own doorbell, install it, use it, and then take it back.
Yeah, and then you're like, how did I get the Ring app on my phone?
Yeah. Fuck.
Oh man, I installed.
Go ahead.
I installed a Ring. Or I installed a door. I installed a doorbell at my dorm.
In your dorm
A
room.
doorbell.
Doorbell.
This was before Ring was a thing. It was just a physical doorbell that we went to Best Buy and bought and
Very
then like
smart.
wired and set up. No, it wasn't. It was. We took it down after I don't know how long.
Oh, 'cause everyone was
because
ringing
people
it.
would get drunk and be like, "There's a doorbell in the hallway."
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but it was a
Who
good.
could possibly have seen that coming?
Well, I had never lived in a door. I was like 18. I was like, cool, we're gonna have a doorbell. It was a good like way to meet people
Yeah.
because it'd be like people would be like, what's this? Ring the doorbell. Like, hi.
You should have put the doorbell in reverse, where the button was on the inside and the bell was outside your door, and you would look it through your peephole, and if you see someone you want to talk to, you ring it.
That's a really funny social experiment.
Yeah, and then they turn around and look at the door, and you open it and be like, oh, hi, come on in.
Oh my god. I love that. I want to do that.
That would be if you could be a Jehovah's Witness and do it from the inside, like get people to come for you. You'd be way more successful, I think.
Yeah.
That's like the most turned away door-to-door people, I think.
Yeah. Anytime someone comes to my door, I'm like super suspicious because I assume they're trying to sell something.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not
Yeah.
expecting them. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like if anybody approaches me, well, outside of like if someone comes up to me like with a clipboard or something, like wants to talk to you, like no, No, I have
Yeah.
no interest in this.
Have you
Yeah.
ever stopped for one of those people?
No.
Have you guys?
Yeah.
I think I've been stopped. Yeah.
I stopped a couple times, probably more when I was younger.
I'll stop if it's like Planned Parenthood, for example. Sometimes canvases outside places, and I'll like.
They told me
talk
to
to
get
them.
lost once.
They
Really?
told you to get lost.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
He's here.
No, I told this before. It was because I just moved here and they stopped me. I was like, "Oh," hi." And they were like, "Oh, can we talk to you about Planned Parenthood?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's Planned Parenthood?" And then she just thought I was like taking the piss and like refused to talk to me.
Oh, that's so. They. Oh, but they should treat people.
You have an
as if-
accent.
Yeah, I was like, and I just walked away. I was like, I wonder what I did.
Oh no.
It pissed her off.
That's funny. So you, that just like when someone or like an organization you're really interested in.
Yeah, or if it's like something actually, I'm like, okay, I'm here. I'll donate some money to them right here because that's convenient.
I don't know. I saw this on Reddit this morning. There's an article on the AP News about this doctor who proposed building, well, not building, but modifying like a medical ship that could operate out of the Gulf of Mexico to provide abortion services to
Oh.
people who are in Gulf Coast states that do not allow such services.
Really? Is that what's the result of
International law.
that? Yeah, how does that work?
Well, there's already like in Texas, there's already like floating casinos that operate where they pick you up like at Corpus or wherever, and then go out a few miles into the coast, and then you can gamble, and then you come back. So it's like this thing where you're out of state jurisdiction, and you can do what you want, and then
Dude, the shit people are going to do in orbit is going to be crazy.
Oh my God.
Right?
Are there laws in orbit?
No.
What
I
if
think so.
what
Well,
happens
I
if
think-
someone gets murdered?
Well, I think if you shank someone on the space
that-
station,
That's a winner, Eric.
what do you say?
He's writing that one down. Are there laws in orbit? That's
Oh, for the title?
Are there laws in orbit? No, I mean,
I think it's the law of whoever put the thing up there, right?
yeah, it's like whatever country owns the
That makes sense, but
shuttle.
But is that written in law, or would it be
when
like
a crime is committed on the ISS, it states that the country whose national was involved has criminal jurisdiction unless people from other countries were affected.
But then I
See-
guess it's an interesting thing because what's happening with abortion in this country, absolutely awful. But in other countries, it's not the same way. So if someone gets an abortion on the ISS
An orbit.
in orbit, or like you're not in the U.S. when you get it done.
But you're
It's almost how like gambling is legal in some places and illegal in other places, and so it's like if you gambled on the ISS,
would it be what state you took off from?
I don't know because
Like-
it's like state laws too, right?
You think that there's state jurisdiction in orbit?
I
No,
think-
they're
Like
there
if you
can't
smoke, so if
be,
you took
right?
off from California and you smoked weed on the space station because it's legal on the state level, it would be fine.
I don't know. I
think
I know
it's-
this hasn't come up yet,
Well,
but
what-
eventually
Well,
this.
Chris, make a ruling. Can you legally smoke weed on the space station?
I think you should.
no. You're making the rule.
I think you should be able to. Let me clarify. That you should
NASA,
be able to.
astronauts, it's been declared. Chris made it legal. Got the James Webb telescope up there. Next time you're up in space, light up a fat one.
If Neil Armstrong did his speech and then turned around and just shanked Buzz Aldrin, where was that? Whose crime is that?
Well, that's U.S.
US in
because,
that
like I said,
instance.
it's
but just because it involves him.
right.
Yeah, well, because
But he didn't do it on.
But U.S. law still applies. It's the same question. This comes up like on an airplane on an international flight. If you take off, like if you're over the
See,
Atlantic
that's what-
Ocean,
yeah.
you have people from all different countries. You have an airplane whose carrier might be based out of one country, but not the other one,
Right,
and
but
you're
nobody's
transiting
based
from one to the
on
other.
the moon.
But I'm just saying, it's a very similar thing.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm trying to give it a more practical explanation.
and some things are legal in some states and illegal in some states.
that's why I was
Like
thinking
gambling.
the state that you took off in is the one that would have jurisdiction. That's because that's where you.
It's on an. I'm pretty sure it's a the state law. Yeah, don't apply. It's national, federal.
This is a tough one. It's a tough discussion. Are you Googling it?
No, I was making a joke back to Brian in chat. Oh. Yeah, I got it, man.
Well, what's the joke?
He wrote, "Wouldn't a cigarette blow up in that environment?" It's a line from "Thank You for Smoking." I was like, yeah, just fix that with some dialogue. Thank God we invented the thing.
Have you guys, speaking of movies, have you guys seen the new Thor? I
Not
know
yet.
Gavin has. We saw
How
it
do you know?
because
you
we
don't
were in
know
the
me.
same we were sitting next to each.
That's
we were
true.
We were sitting near each other.
Yeah.
Did y'all plan that?
Yes and no. We were given someone else's tickets who couldn't make it anymore, and and Gavin and Meg were already going, so we just went. Me and
Was it
Trevor-
Michael?
No,
It's not important. Who cares?
I was just guessing.
it's just yeah.
Well, because
How was it?
It was fun. It was a fun movie. Like I understand there's people who are complaining about it.
Oh, really?
They think it's like too much of a comedy and not enough, I guess, balance there, which I would agree. I think Marvel is like usually the perfect balance of action, comedy, and some, other drama and whatnot to balance out the comedy. This one was just like pretty much pure comedy.
Interesting.
Well, to be fair, the Thor movies weren't good when they took themselves very seriously.
Yeah.
Right. This
Yeah.
is
Like
probably
the Kenneth Branagh Thor.
probably the best of the Thor.
Better than Ragnarok.
Not better than
Okay.
Ragnarok.
I think
Ragnarok is the
was
best.
way
Ragnarok's
better.
one of the best Marvel movies.
I think I liked Ragnarok more than this Love and Thunder,
Love and Thunder, yeah.
but
so you
Definitely.
saw it too.
yeah.
Okay, you didn't
Not
answer that
there.
earlier.
Yeah, I thought it was.
You weren't with us.
I thought this one was okay.
Yeah, it was perfectly enjoyable.
I'll watch it when it comes to streaming. I'm still like very wary of theaters.
I was incredibly distracted though by Tessa Thompson. Oh boy,
Oh yeah, you did tweet about Tessa. Okay, that explains it. That's right.
she. I understand what people say when they say someone is a work of art. She is a work of art. Gorgeous. Chef's kiss. I'll keep talking about it until everyone
You
cuts me
keep
off.
is it a big driver for watching Westworld as well.
Yeah, I completely forgot she was in that.
That was the
And
first thing I saw her in.
we
Yeah.
haven't started the next season yet. We did finish the newest season of Barry though.
I
Over
still
the
haven't
weekend.
seen that.
I didn't know people still watch Westworld. I thought it was just one of those things that everyone quit watching after the second
I think
season.
a lot of people did.
A lot of people dropped out. I think from season 2, which is a shame because season 3 was the best season.
You think so?
far. Yeah, I think season 3 was like head and shoulders above
That's-
1 and 2.
Because I remember I was texting John or something because we had that place to shower and get ready during RTX.
Oh yeah,
And I was
a
like, hey,
hotel room.
You could say a hotel room.
okay. I don't know. I don't know if it was like a secret bathroom.
Well,
or
it
something.
sounds shady as shit when you're not when you don't
We had
explain
a
it.
place to shower and chill.
You have a secret bathroom at the convention center?
No, I'm saying like we have a secret bathroom here at work that we're not supposed to go to.
So you were talking with John.
I was talking to John, and I was like, "Hey, is anyone there? Can I go run by and take a shower?" And he said, "Oh, we're just taking a break. It was in the evening. We're just watching Westworld." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna come by." Also, why? Because I thought Westworld sucked after the second season. So
Well, you're crazy. I think I've said this before. Season 2 was a tough watch if you couldn't watch it all at once, like waiting week to week. If you
Yeah.
watch it back to back, at the time I liked season 2, but it's very difficult to get your head around because it's unreliable narrator with some fucked up time stuff, and it leaves you asking too many questions if you can't get them all answered at once. Season 3 fixed all of that, and I thought it was excellent. Season 4 is a little confusing so far. I'm still like trying to get my footing.
How many episodes are out so far?
2, 3. Three.
Why aren't you going for the binge?
Because I really like Westworld.
Yeah,
I'm eager to watch as much of it as I
There's,
can.
we talk about TV on the podcast every week, but I think it's because, especially right now, there are so many good
Dude.
shows out.
We got to talk about The Bear again.
I haven't seen The Bear.
Oh, I thought
but
you had.
Not yet. I think that was someone else who was on the. Was it Brian?
Someone. Yeah, I thought it was you.
They look similar.
Very
The
similar.
Bear on
Old men.
on Hulu is excellent. It's only like 8 episodes. They're all like half an hour long.
Okay.
It's about a guy who's like a young up and coming chef who worked in New York at like a Michelin star restaurant, and his brother passes away in Chicago, so he has to leave New York, go back to Chicago, and work like at the family restaurant, which is like a kind of a dirty sandwich place, and
Okay.
like try to get the restaurant in shape and get it working, with all of like this fucked up stuff that had been happening in it over the the years.
When
of his
does
brother
Gordon
running
Ramsay
it.
come in?
Never.
Aw.
But it's like I said, 8 episodes long. They're only like 30 minutes each. It's really, really compelling,
It's
really
like a
good.
season of Barry. Yeah, we also just started the second season of Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, yeah, new episode tomorrow.
Yeah, that
Oh, the
that's
second season's out?
Yeah, second season.
They really turned that around. It's like less than a year or about a year between the
something we
seasons.
realized because we also just finished The Boys season 3. Season 3?
Yeah.
Which I love that show as well. The girl who plays Starlight and Selena Gomez have a very similar like way of acting and mannerisms, and like watching those two shows back to back, I just cannot unsee it. There's something about like they're very kind of like expressionless, but like that's their way of acting and like the way they speak and even the tone of their voice. It's very
I
similar.
could see
Kinda
I could see you
dry.
drawing that
Yeah,
comparison.
just kind of dry and a little like lower raspiness. It's very, very interesting.
I have a story, but I don't want to tell it now. 'Cause
Well, I'm glad you brought it
Glad
up.
you brought it up. Yeah.
I was like, oh, new
Here
season
we
of The
go.
Boys. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
And I sat down to watch the third season, and they did a recap, and I was like, oh, I don't remember that.
Oh my.
Did you realize you never watched season 2?
Well, no, it's weirder than that. 'Cause that's a conversation I had.
Yeah.
Because it was like a group watching it, and I was like, oh, well, I don't remember that. And they're like, well, did you watch the second? Please tell me you watched the second. I was like, no, I watched second season. And so then I was like, well, no, I definitely don't remember this. So then we went back. It's like, I thought I'd watched everything. I think I guess I didn't watch the last episode.
Oh wow.
So then I was like, no. And then I was like, I don't remember this. And then I went back to the previous episode, and I'd seen this penultimate episode. Mm-hmm. And somewhere in the penultimate episode, I guess I just didn't finish. And I thought I
Maybe
had.
you paused it and like
I think.
thought you
And
were
then I was like,
connected.
oh, that was the last episode. I don't know what happened.
I've had this happen.
yeah.
I had this happen with Lord of the Rings.
Jesus.
I had the I'd only seen the first one in the theaters, and then I bought the extended box set, and I was watching them all. And I guess at some point, when I had to switch discs in the third movie, I never put the second disc in.
So you
And
just thought it ended?
I didn't. I knew I hadn't finished it, but in my head, after enough time had passed, I was like, "Yeah, I've seen the trilogy," but I didn't realize I'd never seen how it ended.
Oh my god.
Where does the disc swap happen in the third
Yeah, do
film?
you
Do you remember?
In the
I
third
used to remember because it was funny when because I only figured it out like in the last 2 years when
That's
I watched them
crazy.
all in 4K.
And I guess you knew that what happened.
And then I started watching like the final disc, and I was like, oh, I don't know what happened.
That's so crazy,
I know, I
Gavin.
never saw
That's
the end.
crazy.
And then I realized all of the funny gifs and memes from like the early 2000s are from all them like laughing at the end of the third movie. I was like,
You just-
oh, I've never seen any of this. This all makes sense now.
The first disc runs 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 40 seconds, and it cuts as the orcs bring up the wolf's head battering ram.
Wow.
Wow.
And I'd never seen after that. And I remember it wasn't like I was like,
So you never
"And
saw it
I'm
in
done."
theaters or anything, I guess.
No, I only saw the first one in theaters.
Okay.
Yeah, the second one. The second one's the best. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
it is. Yeah, it's,
And then the third one, I think I was either just like, I probably assumed I would watch the second disc at some point, and then maybe I traveled.
Yeah.
Because I already was living here. But yeah, I just botched that. And then I realized as I was watching the final disc.
So when did you finally watch the second half?
Probably like 2 years ago.
Oh wow. Damn.
that
That is really
Oh,
Well,
funny.
probably it was during the pandemic. So
Only
probably
like
2020.
17 years after it came out.
Yeah. And probably only 8 years after I watched the first one.
I love the idea of Gavin like with a group of people and everyone's like talking about Lord of the Rings and someone makes like a reference to that second half of the third film and everyone's like laughing. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, what?
Honestly, it did feel a bit like I really remember the first one because
Yeah.
I saw that in theaters. I've seen that
Sure.
a few times, and I love the second one. Yeah, I saw this good fighting, and then I was always in the mindset of like I don't really remember the.
and
There
that's the
was
one that
something
won
Really, a
all
lot happens in the
it
third.
won all the awards, but it wasn't really memorable to me.
The only thing I remember about the third Lord of the Rings movie is I feel like there are somewhere between 6 and 10 moments in that movie that you think it's over.
Yeah, you're like
Yeah.
standing up, like,
Yeah.
oh, wait, no.
And then
no.
fades out to black, and then there's like a beat, and you're like, all right, I guess that. Oh, it's back in. That
Also-
happens so many times.
Also, Legolas like skateboarding on a shield down the
Yeah.
down the elephant.
Have I
trunk.
seen the second?
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen the Lord of the Rings movies.
You gotta watch it again.
I think I watched each one in theaters when they first came out.
That's
and
it?
That's it.
That's crazy.
I mean,
Wow.
they're long.
Yeah, I feel like I watch it like every
Yeah, I think the third
Speaking
movie.
of long movies, sorry, you
The
finished.
third movie in 4K is like 170 gigabytes or something for the whole thing. It's crazy.
Speaking of long movies, we finally watched RRR.
Oh,
Gus.
yes.
Trevor and I watched RRR. Have you guys seen it yet?
Oh yeah.
Gav, have you?
Gavin doesn't want to see the Brits be the bad guys.
Gavin, I think you would actually really love it.
Oh, I'm gonna watch it.
It's
for sure.
It's
Incredible.
ridiculous.
Like it's non-stop awesome action. And
it's so well done, but it's so over the top that you laugh. Like
Yeah.
it's almost a comedy in that sense.
But it still touches you.
It's very touching.
I still get that Nacho Nacho dance song stuck
Oh
in my head.
God.
It's if you have Netflix, it's on. There's no reason not to watch it.
You just need 3 hours.
You just need. Trust me, I know it's like a big time commitment. That's why I tell everyone.
Does
like,
not
You
seem
should
I know
to.
you
tell
look at
people
it
the time
because
because
when you load up the screen, you see it.
I didn't pay attention to that, and I just started watching the movie, and
you honestly you forget that it's 3 hours when you're
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah, it's
I
really
didn't know it
good.
was 3 hours. Well, and then I ended up. Yeah, I had to I didn't want to tell you this because I didn't want you to be like, you split up in 2 movies. But after Gavin splitting up over 20 years, it's nothing. Yeah, it was like I started on like a Saturday night, and then I was, at some point I was like getting sleepy, and then it was like halfway over. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, how long is it? Because I thought it was an hour,
Yeah.
hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
Yeah, there's like a big set piece fight like halfway through the movie,
And I
like
thought
an
that
hour
was
and
the
a half.
climax.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, the movie's ending. Then you're like, oh no, we're only halfway through the movie. at
That's
this
what happened.
point.
I was like, oh, it's yeah, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to watch the rest tomorrow.
Is
Was
that the picture I sent you? Is that the moment? of
Yes,
that?
it's
Yeah.
like that encounter.
Yeah.
Was it in theaters?
I think you could still watch it, and even though it's on Netflix, some theaters are doing theatrical runs of it,
I
and you can go
also-
watch it.
Didn't realize. Well, I did realize very quickly into the film because I was watching the lip movements with the sounds and the subtitles. It's originally filmed in a different language.
Tegulu?
Tegulu,
I
I think
believe
it's,
is
and then
what
it's
it's
dubbed in Hindi.
Hindi.
And then it's subtitled in English when you watch it on Netflix, like if you choose, obviously. But it's just weird because I kept seeing that their mouths weren't matching the
Telugu.
actual.
So the
dialogue?
sub is a dub.
It's a movie that is dubbed in Hindu, and then it's
Subbed in English, if you can't speak.
right.
Yeah.
But I just was like, something here is not matching, and I was like, are they speaking English? And then it was dubbed and then subtitled in English. But we looked it up, and it was
I do want to say, it was Telugu, not
Telugu.
Tegulu. Yeah, I'm
My
not
bad.
familiar with all. No, it was me. It was me who said it wrong. Not you. I just wanted to clarify.
it's so good though.
It's and I like I keep saying, I know it's like a big buy-in to the time commitment, but just start it. And if you got to split it up,
We
split
did
it
the
up.
same thing. We were like, oh, we'll get it going, and if we want to like take a break in between and do something else and watch the rest later, but we just watched it all the way through.
Yeah. Well, it's good. That bridge scene, man.
I think it's like the most. The bridge scene's crazy. I think it's the most expensive movie made in India.
I kept thinking
it was
that. I was like,
$72 million dollars.
This movie's got to be so expensive.
Also, the stunt work in that movie
It's
is
crazy.
phenomenal. I just kept thinking so many times, like, there are actual human beings doing these stunts somehow.
The dancing.
and the dancing. It was very good.
Great movie.
I thought of another example of not finishing something. My sister, when she read the Hunger Games books,
Yeah.
she read. There's 3, Hunger Games, and then 2 others.
There's Catching Fire.
Yeah. Anyway, she read the first one and then read the third one.
By accident?
Yeah, and then didn't realize till she was like finished the 3rd book and was like, that was confusing and not that great, which
did
it
that-
isn't. But
I did that recently. I think I was trying to watch. I was trying to watch like a newish Godzilla film, and then it felt like in the middle of the story, and I was like, "Is this a sequel to something?" And I guess I was supposed to watch Kong Skull Island, which is like the previous. And I was
So
like,
is it-
I didn't realize there were.
Godzilla, King of Monsters.
Yeah.
wait, you have to watch.
Well, so King Kong in King of Monsters comes from Skull Island. Like
Okay.
there's a story.
It
that
felt
establishes-
very
is
much
this
like
in-
I
is
just
this-
jumped into something I didn't understand. I was like, and then I looked it up. I was like, oh, I can't watch this yet. I need to watch a different movie.
Is this Peter Jackson? The Peter Jackson King Kong?
No, that was
that was
like-
just King Kong.
Okay.
it's
a lot of
it's
King
crazy that they did that because none of those movies are good, but like they're all predicated on like you having to watch them, and that's insane. Like that's like to,
So
to
what is
do
the
like
first one?
to do like a
For the
franchise
first-
of bad movies is like fucking awesome.
The first one is Godzilla.
Godzilla 2014.
Yes.
And then
And then it's
Kong.
Godzilla. Then it's I think there's another movie. There's another Godzilla movie, isn't there? I never saw the other one. Then there's Kong Skull Island, and then there's King of Monsters.
But then there was another Godzilla
I think so. I
in
never
like 2021.
I never saw that one. But that's also part of it.
Is
and
that,
and
is that-
Godzilla King of Monsters was also the
But
name.
is it spelled racket or racket?
yeah. Is there a Q in the King Kong?
I think King of Monsters was the name of the original 1950s Godzilla, was released in the US under that name. So there's actually two movies called Godzilla
Yes,
King
you
of
need to
Monsters.
make sure
now.
you're talking about the 2020 or 2021 version.
Yeah, not to be confused with Godzilla or Godzilla or the Matthew Broderick Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Zilla.
Which I tried to watch that recently. I don't know why I'm
There's
on
a
a
Matthew
Godzilla tip.
Broderick Godzilla.
Yeah,
No,
was
you
a
didn't. That's the
90s one.
2000 one.
Yeah, it was like roll. It was
There was a song that went with it.
Heroes, that song with
We
the
should be
cover by
heroes.
what's his name?
I know that song.
The
that's,
Wallflowers.
That's from.
Well, do you know the cover or the real song?
Yeah, because
I thought it was just
Yeah,
generic.
that was a cover of the
But that
think I know the
movie,
original, though.
Godzilla from the 90s, the piece
Godzilla
of
versus
shit.
Kong. That's it. So it was King of Monsters, and then Godzilla versus Kong is the more recent one.
Yeah,
Okay,
Godzilla
yeah.
vs Kong is
you.
2021.
But try watching the Godzilla from the 90s with Matthew Broderick. It's a terrible film.
Well, then I don't
But
want to watch it.
Couldn't find a single line that sounded like it was actually the sound used on set. It's like the entire movie was ADR. And then I realized it's probably because every single scene in that movie it's raining.
Oh wow.
That must have been the most miserable film to shoot.
Why would they do
in the
that?
world?
And the post-production,
Everyone
too.
is soaking wet, no matter where they are in the world. Everyone's just getting drenched the entire movie.
Why would they do that?
That's an awful
It's not like
choice.
the premise predicates it. It's not like the Titanic. Well, they were wet the whole time. You know, it's like, God. Zilla.
Godzilla.
Maybe I'll try and watch all the Godzilla movies. There's probably only like
Why-
25.
If anyone needs a palate cleanser for just anything, I think it's out now. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On is a new movie. I don't know how many theaters it's playing in, but it is the most pure, wonderful, adorable, feel-good movie. I mean, there's also some strong emotions involved in it as well. I don't want to spoil anything, but it is just like the sweetest movie.
Wasn't that like a YouTube thing?
It
Yeah, it
was
was.
10 years ago. And it's the exact same voice, it's the same character and everything like that. And they make references actually to those earlier videos.
It's an hour and a half. You could watch Marcel the Shell with the Shoes On twice, or you could watch RRR. Just putting that out there.
I love that movie.
It's
I finally, now that it's finally available to rent, I finally watched Everything Everywhere All at Once because it finally came out on
Oh my God,
rental
yes.
last
you
week.
had seen it before.
No?
You hadn't seen it? I thought you were the one that told me to go see it.
I said the trailer looked cool.
I'd seen it. I think a couple of people here had seen it probably. I mean, you can't see that movie and not tell people
Yeah.
to go see it
Yeah.
because it's amazing.
Finally, I've been waiting. July 5th was the day it was finally going to be available to stream, and I was finally able to
What'd you
rent
think?
it. It was excellent.
Yeah.
Like, finally, like, somewhat of a refreshing movie that's different than all the same stuff you get to see over and over. I think that's why I loved RRR. Honestly, it's like something out of that's different, something that's out of the ordinary.
Did
It's
you see
not
my
like
clip?
the same old things over and over.
Did you see my slow-mo
I did. I was like, I know it's gonna happen fast. I got to be ready. Like, don't blink.
I think I counted as like 7 frames.
It's so fast.
I double taked, and I was like, because I'd seen you post that.
Yeah.
That this clip that is 1 second. I had no idea. I hadn't heard of the movie at that point. You just posted about some movie that you had a thing in, and I was like, wait, was that the thing that Gavin posted about?
Yep.
And I was like,
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, I didn't actually know it was in that film because they licensed it under like movies are
Yeah.
made under like funny name title like
Yeah.
companies.
Or they
so I didn't
changed.
recognize it. Yeah. And they I traced it back and I was like, oh yeah, they licensed this.
So when
'Cause
did you actually figure out it was in that film?
when people tweeted me that it was in the trailer.
Oh, shit. Okay.
But the trailer came out before they licensed it. So I was like, I guess they were glad that I was like, yes, okay. Because it was
Yeah.
already in the trailer.
I mean, if you said no, what would they have done?
I don't know.
They
I
would-
wouldn't have said no. It's
Yeah.
cool.
It's pretty
Right?
cool.
So you can't let them know that.
Well, I'd like, you know,
Now they know.
They listen to this podcast.
yeah, but
I'm proud to have 7 frames in that film. I love that film.
That film is amazing. I think also, like now working in production for a few years, I think I have a new appreciation for things like setups and costume changes. And there are so many shots in that movie that are like a split second of a whole look or a whole scene that they just have like a second shot of. And I'm like, oh my God, they must have spent so much time changing people over, setting this thing up just for
Film for
literally
a few frames.
second.
I think I read that only 9 people worked on the visual effects in that movie, 2 of which were the directors.
That's wild.
Daniels.
That
Yeah.
is wild.
And they learned how to do it from YouTube videos.
What?
That is modern filmmaking right there. I
Yeah,
love
the
that.
YouTube thing is the least surprising.
Yo, you could use YouTube to learn almost anything these days. It's a plethora of education.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that a lot. Like if you see an effect or something that happened in one of my videos that hasn't been in it before, you can guarantee that behind Final Cut was a YouTube video showing me how to do it. I do that all the time.
All right. Well, we should probably go ahead and wrap up. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back again next week with another episode. You can't stop us. Bye.
Bye.
The challenge.